lighten up, Daycat. Guidance back to your light. We'll start with Daycat. Daycat, fighter of the night, cat. Champion of the mat. Master of karate and friendship for every cat. It's adapted from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Dayman, obviously fighter of the night man. Champion of the sun. Yeah, the sun because it's day, not night, right? Not the moon or the dark night sky. Champion of the sun. Fighter, master of karate and friendship for everyone, right? Obviously just adapted a little bit. All right. So, oh yes, right. Guidance back to your light. Yes, I offer that. I also offer play shops, creative play shops, and oh yeah, compassion key, like karma clearings, reconnect, resurrect your inner child, clear past karma, yada yada yada. All right. So now the update. Oh yeah, Bevan Bird is now on tour. So years ago, I talked about a Soul to Soul Connections World Tour. Now this one is not this tour, whether it's a coast to coast tour, or whether it's a world tour. It is not called the Soul to Soul Connections World Tour, but it does not yet have a name. So it's the tour formerly known as the Soul to Soul Connections World Tour, and also an unnamed tour. But basically, Bevan Bird is now on tour. All right, and that tour begins in Vernon, BC. At the end of this month, August 31st, 2026. A day that will go down in history. Or will it be infamy? Well, we'll never know, right? No, we will. Only history will tell, right? We'll know in the future. We don't know now. Doesn't matter, right? So, yeah. I have a lot that I can share with you, but I probably won't. And that's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm pretty excited. And I'm very grateful for this life-changing opportunity. And the journey begins, right? The adventure begins. Now, what I'm also going to share with you right here is something I thought of doing while I was in the park earlier. See, after work, I felt kind of drained in the surveying job. We hiked up a hill. We did some surveying. Now, very gratefully, we're using GPS, and it worked under the trees, right? We were able to survey every point that we needed to. There was a bit of delaying in the afternoon near the end, waiting for it a little bit. But anyway, it all worked. And so we didn't have to break out the terrestrial, right? The total station. So we didn't have to lug that up the hill. But we did take a significant trek up that hill, just with GPS and a shovel and pin finder, right? Metal detector and a bush hook, which is like a machete. That's pretty much it. And ourselves, and also the client had his dog with him. Okay, so the client came with, the landowner came with us and saw where the back of his lot was. And it was quite a ways up there. The length, it's over 2,000 feet, but that's only horizontally, right? So it's about 2,000 feet deep, these lots, but they're a lot less. They're 100 meters wide. And figure that out in feet, right? It's like a bit over 300 feet then. But in the depth, it was like over 2,000. And so it was quite a bit up the hill. But anyway, it all worked out. It was good. And so I was in the park afterwards. And then what I was going to shoot, about to shoot a little video, and I'm going to share with you what I would have said then, maybe, except from here. Instead of from the park, I will do that from here. And it will be different. Obviously, it won't be the same, and it doesn't matter as well. Same thing, right? Let's see. Right. So what I'll do with that, the reason I didn't then make a video was it was 5, and my friend called me back, and we talked about it. I'm going to go visit my friend, right, in Vernon, and that's where the tour begins. So I'll either be there for 2 weeks, like 2 weeks to a month at the max. Unless I start to rent there also, right? So we'll see. That's a possibility. But if it just becomes the tour, that will just be the first stop on the tour, right? So it'll be 2 weeks to a month. And then, so I'll just be lining up the rest of the tour, right, as it goes, as it begins, really, as it unfolds. It's quite exciting. And we'll see where these journeys take us. And the people that we get to meet, right, and the interviews and all that we get to do along the way. So that's going to be exciting to share. And that can even begin, potentially, with a book that I found on the way back from the park. So as I was saying, because it was 5 and my friend called me back, I saw that they had just called, right, and there was a missed call, and it was like 5:04 or something like that. And so then I talked with them. So that's why I didn't shoot that video. So we'll do the thing that I would have done in that video in this video too, in a moment. And then that might be it. I mean, that explains it, right? It's going to be awesome. I'll be on the lake there. They do paddleboarding, and it's great. I don't have a paddleboard. Whatever, right? We'll figure that out. There are kayaks back there in Princeton. There may still be ones. My dad had quite a few kayaks, so there are some there. You know, if they're still there, I could pick it up. But I don't have a roof rack on my car, right? And I did have a surfboard in Mexico. That's a different thing, though. A surfboard is not a stand-up paddleboard. They're quite different. And the surfboard I had, I think, is left in Mexico somewhere, probably in Saladita, which is where I surfed. Or maybe it's somewhere else, but that's where I got it in the first place. I think maybe someone else, my brother might have taken it down on another trip. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is from a long, long time ago. But I would go there again. I would absolutely go to Saladita again. I would go to La Lancha again, too. That was a nice white sand beach right near Punta Mita, right near Sayulita, and of course near Playa Chicala and not Puerto Rico. I've been there for 3 weeks, one time in 2018. But I was talking about Puerto Vallarta, of course. Okay, so yeah, now Saladita is near Cihuatanejo and Ixtapa. These are all in Mexico. Okay, but Puerto Rico's not in Mexico, and it's part of the U.S. And I did a little bit of snorkeling there and saw some marine life a little bit. So let's go back to the surfing, or no, the stand-up paddleboard. No, we're going to skip all that for now. Okay, so we're going to go back to creativity. I'm going to share with you, I'm going to map some of my mind, or continue to, right? And we may explore my creativity a bit, including creative structures. Potentially, we will see, right? These are things that may happen, and also potentially my imagination. So now the reason I told you about the surveying earlier is because that's where this creativity arose, right? So we're walking along a path. This is earlier. It's at the end of the day, and we were making ties to the ground control monuments at the end to tie the survey to them, because, well, integrated. It's not in an integrated area. It's just outside of one, but we have to tie it to something, and that's the quickest, easiest thing that we could do. Because the other thing we would do would be to set up, like with a tripod set up, and we'd have to create 2 points, and they would have to run static for a while. You have to observe it. So we could have done that, but we didn't need to. So anyway, we went to these points that were already there, right? And we had to dig them up. But anyway, that doesn't matter. The point is, at the end of the day, walking like that on a level path that's an old railway, which is now just like a bike path, is super easy, right? It's like a walk in the park. It's a cakewalk, right? Compared to what we were just doing with the steep slope, right? And which we had finished. So it's like it's a walk in the park. It's a cakewalk. It's like, so you can walk with a cake, right? And that's what a cakewalk is. And it's also, they walk around in a circle, and someone might win a cake, or they win different cakes or whatever, and bacon and other things. No, just cakes, right? But then you can walk with a cake, and so then you can also have a cake jog, and jog with a cake, right? Be careful with it. And that's the only part that I already thought of while I was there. Everything else we do will be new, okay? And so what's the most expensive cake in the world, right? What's the most expensive type of cake that you can get? Is it green? Potentially. Because I saw a video that said this is the most expensive cake, and the inside of it was green. And Dave Chappelle said that apple drink, it's not the same formula, right? It's green. And that's a different thing, right? And I don't know if he mentioned it about like chicken and watermelon, or if that was someone else, but they were saying like that, like, if you don't like chicken and watermelon, there's something wrong with you. Or maybe there is, right? That's just opinion though, or hearsay. It's neither here nor there, but that's okay. And then what else? Okay, so we've got walk in the park, cake walk, cake jog, jog with cake, right? And then we have the most expensive cake in the world, right? So you'd probably be carrying it pretty carefully, right? You wouldn't want to jog with it. So there's these things where people walk around with an egg. Oh, the egg and spoon race. So you carry an egg in a spoon and race other people doing the same thing, of course, right? And then for more fun at the end, you can fling the egg at people, and then they might get egg on their face, potentially, right? That could happen. So that's within the realm of possibilities. At least we can imagine it, and it is entirely possible. Now, what about making a cake while you walk? Or even baking a cake while you walk? That's harder. But making a cake, well, doing part of it, right? Mixing up the batter, having a mixing bowl, and mixing some kind of stuff while you walk. Absolutely possible, yeah, but not easy to measure out different ingredients and put them into the thing. But if you've already done that and then you're mixing it, you could certainly mix it in a bowl while you walk. So you could have a walk in the park that's also making a cake, preparing for a cakewalk, which may then also happen in a park. Someone might win a cake in the park, and if they then race other people with the cake, they could jog with it, or like maybe their family's really jealous of them and they get the cake, but some other people want their cake, and then they have to protect their cake and they jog away with it, right? So that's possible. But it doesn't matter if something's possible or not. When using your imagination, some things are possible, some may not be possible, but there is also opinions about what is possible, or what could be possible, or what might not be possible. Like that might just be opinion, and maybe anything is possible. Dragons say all is possible, right? I created the Joys of Creating beginning in March 2025, and the dragon that I created earlier, of course, on July 7th, 2023, and I just call it the dragon. It is a dragon, but it's a piece of art made with AI, Midjourney, and I did multiple steps to get to it, and I created it by being in a river, and I told the story in the first issue of The Joys of Creating, which needs more. It needs more material. There's a hell of a lot of material that wants to be published in it. It just wants more publishing, right? So anyway, there's only one issue so far. And I was trying to write it. I was trying to finish it, right, and publish it. And then my dad died. Actually, he was telling me that he was going to die. And I'm like, come on, right? Like, have some patience. No, I was much more compassionate than that, actually. I mean, I'm a compassion key facilitator, right? A rock star one, apparently. Okay. So no, I didn't say, oh, just back up. Like, just, be a man, right? No, he's like, I'm dying over here. Right. And he's like, put a movie on or something, right? To help him deal with the pain of existence, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, he did have arthritis pain. I don't know. He might have got some problem with his heart, right? The COPD, like difficulty breathing. Who knows, right? The circulation not very strong. So like he was saying, like, I'm trying to publish the thing, right, on my laptop. Like, we're in the same room, right? This is in a yurt. I was living with my dad, and helping to take care of him, right? I'm the one that's closest to him there, right? So I'm trying to publish it, and then he's like, I'm just dying over here, right? And like, he wanted to watch a movie because it would help him relax or something, right? Like the mental stimulation of it, right? The entertainment. So yeah, we watched a movie. I think we did a double feature. We watched a couple of movies that day. He didn't like the second one very much, although I think it's quite entertaining. What Every French Woman Wants, where the young master of the house happens to impregnate. You can censor that word if you want. He happens to impregnate every female member of the house except a very young one, right? But like all of them. No, I don't know if one of the older women does get pregnant or not, but anyway, all of the younger ones do. While their significant others, I guess you might say, were away at war because he's too young to go into battle, you see. So he had another type of battle at home. And that's what happens. That's what that movie's about. It's a comedy. But the other one, though, the one we watched before that, was definitely also a comedy. And it may have had Jack Tati in it. I don't know. I mean, whatever. We'll have to look into the records to find out like what that movie was or what it's called. But it's pretty funny, right? And my dad did enjoy that one that we watched before it. Yeah. Okay. He didn't die that day. Okay. But he was trying to foreshadow. He was trying to prophesy his own death. Although he wanted to live to 100. Because this was only about 91 or 92 years. 91. Yeah, I'm going to say 91. So it was only, yeah, right. So only about 91 years and maybe 5 or 10 days after he was born, right? So that's about how long that he had lived. And it's about as long as he was going to live. But he did not know that. Although he said that he was like dying over there. But I don't know if he meant it literally, as you can see. Because at the time, he didn't die, right? And we'll find out. So when we go and do the fact checking on this and check that day and we watch these two movies and which one was the first one, right? Which he liked more, right? At least I think that that was the order of the two. We will find out. That was that day, and then we know the day that he did apparently die, at least that's what the hospital said. We will see, or that's what they said there. We will then see the difference in those days, and we'll know how many days that they were separated by. What was the duration? And then we'll be able to tell it more accurately. But for now, this is what I'm telling you. That's what I remember, right? Okay, so what else should we say? Connecting these ideas. Okay, cakewalk, walk in the park, bounce with a cake, jog around with a cake, make a cake while walking, mix it, bake a cake while walking. Well, you just put it in the oven and you go out for a walk, but you just put on a timer and know when to come back. If you walk a certain amount, like, you could say, well, we're probably going to go at about the same speed on the way out and at the way back. So if it's like 1 hour, say, let's just make it simple. Like, I don't know how long it takes, whatever it is, say it's an hour. Well, then you put on a timer for half an hour. When it goes off, turn around at that point and start heading back, right? And that way you won't have to rush, or like maybe put a timer for 25 minutes, 27 minutes or something, whatever. But yeah, that's a simple way. Because then as soon as the timer goes off, you can put the timer on again and you start heading back and you've done it, right? And it's an exact, like, go for a walk, like as Sean Mize said, go for a walk for an hour, and the ideas that you get will increase your creativity. So you'll not only be going for a walk and baking a cake at the same time, your creativity will increase and you'll have new ideas in your niche, or like whatever you do, right? The things that you do, as I mentioned at the beginning, a couple of things I do. Like if you want an energy reading, like, because I can read your energy, if you want something like that, it's not a prophecy, it's just reading what your energy is now, right? I can do that. I can do compassion key for you. Apparently I'm a rock star compassion key facilitator, so it can help you clear your own karma, and it's amazing. So it helps you unblock your miracles. So certain things in your life, patterns that you want to shift, that's a great thing. And another thing is these joyful creating, like sacred play, like play shops with creating, like making AI art for fun, creating new worlds, right? Like world building, telling stories, creating new characters and things, making art, exploring it, exploring your imagination, intuition, and creativity, and expanding them. Remix adventures, art-fi. That's art as philosophy. So yeah, those are kinds of things that we can do in the play shops, right? So that's awesome. So those are for individuals and for groups, right? There's both options. Compassion keys only for individuals. And then there's guidance, right? Like guidance coming out of a dark night of the soul, right? Reconnect with your light. So that's what I started this thing with, right? It's a guidance back to your light. See that light over there? So the light's actually within you, and it's the light that you are, as well as the divine light and the light of the earth, right? So reconnecting with your light. after a dark night of the soul. Like, so if you're like a phoenix ready to rise, rise from your own ashes again, or either again or for the first time, doesn't matter. Then that's perfect, right? If you've just gone through a dark night of the soul, if you're at a low point, or if you're beginning to come, you can feel you're coming out of it, you're about to rise again, you're ready to rise, you want to thrive, you want to use your gifts and share them with your community and the world, right? You want to grow your own community. You want to do that, follow your calling, right? You want to make a difference in the world, and you want to step into that, then that's a good thing, right? So I have guidance for that. So, and that's individually at this point, right? That's offered individually. So that's that. And that covers basically the main ones. We can do visionary art, right? We can create visionary art, like with AI. You can have an experience. You don't even need to know how to use that. I facilitate it, and you will get to see your beautiful visions coming to life before your eyes as art, and then you can use that art, right, and share it with people, and you can share your beautiful inner visions with others. It's quite a life-changing experience, because like each time that I have created the art, like art about myself, for example, as I did in 2023 and won a little prize, because I made this art showing, like, it's like I'm a new artist, but then I see myself as a successful artist that's already accomplished and stuff like that, right? So I did that and won this little prize. And then I guided other people through the process. Like someone else they're like, how did you do that? Like they wanted to do the same. They wanted to know how they can make an inspiring painting of themselves. So that became Connect with Your Future Self, AI Art Journey. And that was in like September 2023, so 3 years ago. And then I made Unleash the Artist Within, which is just a free, pure play creativity exploration and make art with the AI for fun. And when I expanded that in 2024 and in 2025, after my own Dark Night of the Soul, in 2025, I created The Joys of Creating, and I actually collaborated with my dad on that a bit. So in the very first couple of sessions, you'll see that it's me and my dad, right? And we co-created those. So that's pretty sweet. And he did also influence that first issue, right, of the newsletter of Joys of Creating, right? And so, whatever, that's good. He got to experience it. A new software was created in order for him to experience it, so that was cool as well. And then we adapted that. And I put a dedication to him in it because he obviously passed away. And then at his celebration of life, I told one of his stories. No, just a bit of it, but I did tell the story after in a video, and it's online and people can see it. The whole thing, the elm tree. Okay, so yes, so it has a dedication to him in it, and the software that I used to show him the thing, which is adapted from Big Message Board or whatever, like, for hard of hearing people. So I made that for him. Then I adapted it to show him a show, like the art and some messages, so he could read the newsletter, like, from the screen, like making it big, right? And we flipped through it. Well, I adapted that for the show at his celebration of life, right? Showing photos. So these photos were cycling on the big screen, right? For the whole thing, the event. So I used that for that. And then later I've used it in order to do animation, like to show like an art show, like evolving sequences of art. I traced the lineage of the art, right? So I'm able to show it evolving, like the 3 gardens. One of the things I made in the Evolutions of Art, Architecture, and Society art show that I made in April of 2025, near the beginning of the Joys of Creating. So one little thing within that art show was like these 3 gardens evolving, right? Each one independently evolving from the same beginning seed. Every authentic expression is a seed of infinite creation, right? Or it can be. See, it's a potential seed. So this story also gives examples of that. I guess we can put a light on this little light, but this one's not very bright, but it doesn't matter. We'll add a little bit of light because it's better, right? Like there is one overhead, but I'm not going to bother to go turning it on. So I just put that little light there, which you can use to read with, right? Which is good because then you don't have to get up for the other one at night, right? Like I was reading the Odyssey and I've almost finished it now. But when I came here, into to Nelson, I was reading the Odyssey, or did I start after I went to Nelson? I don't know, but that was January, right? And so I was reading it earlier. Then after a while, I stopped reading it, and then recently I went back to it and continued reading it, and it was near the end, and I've almost finished it. Okay, so that's what this light's for. That certainly helps, right? Okay, so that brings us to the other one. Okay, maybe I should go grab that book. Okay, I will grab that book just a second. Okay, so I found this book on the way back from the park. And yeah, just a second here. Just got to find it. All right. Okay, so I will show you this book. That's why I've grabbed it. Because, you see, my neighbor threw out that lamp. Like, he put it out in front of his house. That's what they do in Nelson, is people give away stuff by putting it out in front of their house, and then other people can pick it up. So it's kind of like free garage sale or whatever. Now, you could actually pick up good things from those and then list them online as a product, right? Like, sell them. But then you got to drop ship it. Well, not exactly drop ship, but you'd have to then ship it, right? Okay, so obviously I didn't bother with that. Okay, so this is cool because the box at the corner, there was 3 boxes, and I'd already looked in them before, but I happened to look in it today when I was walking back from the park. And of course I was like super happy because I had decided to go on tour, and because, of course, it's because the first one is already planned. And then, so this is funny because this is the book that's in the box there. All right. Oh yeah, it says refugee accompaniment. Yeah, now you can't see it because the light, it doesn't work that way. The light, it's got to like point this way, right? Anyway, and then it says capacitar practices, which seems to be like capacity, like expanding people's capacity to heal themselves. Because like capacitar practices of self-care and trauma healing for refugees and those who walk with them. And I'll interview the PhD author of this book. I could even interview both of the authors of this book, but especially the PhD one, Patricia Mathis-Kahn. And she's the founder and director of Capacitar. And yeah, and this is very inspiring. And we can share the prayer in it. I could share with you my Joyful Builder's prayer if you want to, but I think we'd do it in another video. Right? Because I'm just like holding up the camera this whole time and stuff, and that's a little awkward. Here we go. A prayer of healing and transformation. You'll like this, right? And do this with me if you feel called to, right? You resonate. Okay, so we join with the earth and with each other, with our ancestors and all beings of the future. Look at that. To bring new life to the land, to recreate the human community, to provide justice and peace, to remember our children, to remember who we are. We join together as many and diverse expressions of one loving mystery for the healing of the earth and the renewal of all life. Right? I'm the founder of the Aliveness movement, by the way. Capacitar prayer, adapted from the UN prayer of the Sabbath. Yeah, so this is quite interesting because I happen to have been reached out to by someone who helps refugees, right? Actually, my dad helped a refugee lawyer who is now a judge, right? But in the past, she was a refugee lawyer, and so she would know about all these refugees that were coming to Canada, right? And she would try to get them in, right? And was very successful with that. But now she's a judge, so now she's supposed to not like accept every single one of them, right? But she still has a big heart and like still wants to accept them in, right? Okay, no, but that's not the main point. That's just an anecdote, right? It's that someone had reached out and connected with me because I was interviewing. No. Or was I? No, no, I was just being interviewed by. I was being interviewed by students of Rehan School. Rehan School is in Pakistan. It is like an AI school. It's a high-tech school. It is, it's like, I think I would say it's not traditional, right? And it's like, you don't need a curriculum. Like it evolves and it helps them prepare for the future, right? And it helps them create money now. It's awesome. Okay, so this is for empowerment, and I think people can attend that school like virtually, right? They could attend it from anywhere on earth. So it's also a great opportunity. And I have taught a little bit at their school remotely, right, from Canada as well in the past, like in 2023, showing them how to make. See, I took the thing that I did, remember the Connect with Your Future Self AI art journey, right? Like channel an inspiring painting of yourself, right, from the future. Right? So I broke that down, right, and just showed it in one class. Now, it didn't include a meditation in that, right, but it just showed how to do it. It told stories, it gave a couple examples, and it showed how you can do it, right? And the ending with the face swap. Swap your face onto whatever you create too, right? So it makes it look more realistic. But the way that I would do it now is not the same way that I would have done it then, right? Because I find that ChatGPT works better. It has DALL-E under the hood. It's working better for more specific things than Midjourney does, right? Because I tried it for lots of things. So, yeah, right. So I was being interviewed by Rehan School students, okay? And so then someone from Bangladesh reached out to me, and they're helping refugee children, right? Helping feed them, helping educate them and stuff. So there was severe injustice, right? And then they've had their land taken from them, and that's just a terrible situation, right? But at the same time, then it's also an opportunity. And then it's another opportunity for humanity to be compassionate, for us to learn more compassion and understanding, respect and dignity and all that that everyone has, within them, right? So we need to change because we're not as enlightened as we might think we are, right? And so we need to like be more generous and share international, right? I discovered them in Vancouver when someone gave a talk at the Vancouver Public Library sometime. It could have been in 2010, 2011, probably. But anyway, share, right? So by sharing, we will bring more abundance, right? And also not by sacrificing yourself, but by sharing from the overflow, right? Create more and more abundance. So we can do that, right? We can all do that because everyone can share something, even if it's just a little bit. And so then you will create more because by giving, you will cause yourself to receive more, right? So it causing endless cycles, virtuous cycles of giving and receiving, right? Create something, share it, right? You can make art, sell it, and then say take 10% of that money and give it to something, right? That's strategic philanthropy. You could do that, bake impact into the business model. Now you can also make money by doing good things, right? You can change the world, right? Or change people's lives for the better and make money at the same time as doing it. So that's what I'm doing with all the offers I gave you, right? All my services. This is not work. This is service for humanity, right? So all these things, it's making money by doing something good, by making a positive change, right? Right. So we got that book, and that's what I'm saying, right? This is interesting because they're helping those refugees, right? And then I was like, well, I wish I could help you more, but there's only so much I can do at this point, right? But hopefully I can introduce people to them, and that will help them. Hopefully by me talking about them, right? I need to find out more, right? We have to do due diligence and stuff. We need to see a tour of the place. We need proof. We also need like transparency, right, and accountability. So if money is sent to them, we need to see how it gets used and all that, right? Proof that this is real, and then so that small yes can turn into a river, right? It can become a bigger and bigger river over time, right? Because of the building the trust. So we'll need to do that. So by talking about it, then others can find it, right? And then more donations can go. Also, different organizations can connect with them, right? So collaboratively by bringing those together, then they can have more funding can go to them because they need it. We don't want those people to starve, right? So let's like change the world for the better, right? By working together. So the same thing happens with this book. It's like, wow, that's interesting. So then I've met a kindred soul. Also, this is a resource. So I was starting to look through the book and I was like, yeah, this is great stuff. This is helpful, right? And then, oh, this is something that's helpful for me personally. This could be helpful for other people, yada, 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 right? So I'm like, okay, for sure I'm taking that book, right? There was also a painting in the box. And I looked at it and like, I didn't take it, but I mean, it was a gift, right? You could take it if you want it, but it was like, I look at the back and it's like Nova Scotia. Oh, no. First thing, I look at the painting. It has a couple buildings on it. It's at the edge of a lake or the ocean, maybe, probably the ocean. But I'm like, there's buildings that big in Nova Scotia? Like, I don't know. But I wasn't thinking that yet because I didn't know where it was. But that reminds me of a place where I was, because when I lived in Cole Harbour in Vancouver, it's pretty close to a marina. And I remember, like, there's a thing that you can take out on the water, right? There's this kind of boat. Is it a hovercraft? It's not really a hovercraft. It's just some kind of boat that, I don't know what was special about that boat. There was something about it. And I made a little video in front of that boat and said, hey, who wants to do this, right? Let's go on that thing, and we will talk about joint ventures while we're out there, right? We'll potentially create joint ventures, right? Do a little seminar. We'll do a thing where we talk about joint ventures and we explore the possibilities. And so we may be able to create them, right? Do you want to do that, right? And Tom Matson said yes, right? He is a strategic alliance expert. I spoke at one of his summit conferences, right? A physical one. It was called it was the first ever. Actually, they'd already done strategic alliance summits though in the past, but this was the first ever $1 million strategic alliance summit, which happened in Scottsdale, Arizona in the summer. I think it's August of 2017. And how did I get to be there? Well, I won an affiliate contest. Not first place though, second place, but that was good enough to be able to speak at that conference, right? Which was sweet. So he gave me that opportunity. Like, I didn't have to pay to go to that conference. And I got the VIP day at the beginning with the mastermind, as well as being able to speak at this conference, which I did not have to pay for, right? Now, I did have to pay for like hotel and food, okay? But I didn't have to pay for the conference itself, like its tickets. So that was amazing. And if you want to know how I won that affiliate contest, that's another thing, right? Using engagement posts, I can teach that in a separate video, right? Because I actually was thinking about teaching engagement posts before, but never did. So if you want that, let me know, because then we can create that. We can do the class. We can just like teach it live on Zoom, and that way you can ask questions, right? I can answer your questions too, so we can make it a deeper training. Okay, so that was good. This is a success in 2017. I like that. We can leverage it, but it's just something along the way, because it makes sense if you really go into my whole story of like, starting with social media, right? Wanting to inspire people, but like doing something with like social media coaching and consulting for small businesses. So I did, to grow your business. That's what I started with in 2011, right? So that evolved over time, and something in there was something about creativity, right? The creativity for like your social media posts, right? And then there was also the energy of your communication, right? Because how do we serve? Through our vibration, right? Our frequency of vibration, our vibrational frequency. So authenticity, right? Being authentic raises your frequency, right? Telling the truth, being truthful, being yourself, right? A very high frequency, extremely attractive, right? Okay, so it's a big tip, right? For online, like building a brand, like have a personal brand, like tell your own stories, share what you're doing, what your challenges are, what you're overcoming, what you already overcame, right? You can teach from it, right? If you do that, then you're never pigeonholed, because like you have infinite potential for where to go with it, right? Which is what I'm doing now. Okay. That's good, right? So we've connected more ideas. That was successful. Awesome. Okay, now this book, right? Yeah, it's awesome. It's a treasure trove. It's a great resource. And if this person who wrote it wants to be interviewed, I will interview them. And I'm going to reach out to them and do that. Okay, that's one idea. Now, someone made a post about the fires, right, and the smoke, and this post went pretty viral, and that was pretty recent. And so I connected with them, right? That was how I saw them, is Facebook recommended them to me because I've adapted the algorithm, right? Through what I did, right? Through the posts I post, the things I write and what I post, and the curated posts that I share, right, from others and so on, and the ones that I engage on. So it recommends people for me to connect with. That's another thing that helps for this tour, right? Okay, so this person has a community. They've built a community of multiple thousands of people in the Kelowna area, like in the Okanagan, right, of a spiritual community, conscious. And also, they said that she invited me to join her group, right? So I saw this in the description of the group. So she's also about collaboration, and she likes to help people who want to put on a workshop for people, right? Which includes for her community that she's created, right? And that's the joint venture, right? And this is part of I had an idea to do that with the joy shops, or play shops, as I was calling it, right? Play shops. So, like visionary art, right? A visionary art co-creation experience. So we can do those. And I had an idea to do that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? And we've already started. Haven't done group play shops yet, but like I did it individually. So someone that I resonated with, I went to their event online. It wasn't a free one. I go to either free or paid ones though, right? This one was paid, and it was a maternal line clearing, and this person channels entities, right? Channels these people, right? Called the Joyous Ones. So that's similar to Abraham Hicks, right? Just a smaller community, right? So I resonated with that, and it was also great, right? And as I said, I resonated with her, right? And so I offered her this thing, and we did that. And so we could also do that for her group. So the same thing, right? We'll do that, with different ones where it resonates. So this could be a great opportunity, right? That group. So I kind of was thinking about that yesterday, right? So I'm grateful that she invited me to her group, and that kind of thing tends to happen, right? Oh, right. I was telling you a bit of a story. So I was saying that, I started teaching social media back in 2011, right? And so, no, sorry, in 2010, right? I started coaching or consulting individual business owners on social media to grow your business in 2010. Okay. So I wrote a book about it, or made an online course, which shows you how. So this was scaling what I'd already done individually, right? It was starting to scale it, right? So that was in 2011. And as I said, there was the creativity. But then also I noticed there was something deeper, right? Because the energy that we communicate with is more influential than just like the words that we use, right? Because we're always manifesting with our energy. So I created energetic connecting, right? And high vibrational connecting. And I taught that a bit, right? Energetic. I was like, I like made myself like the energetic connecting coach. Now this is a long time ago, right? It's like back in 2014, 2015. That's when in 2014, I did make high vibrational connecting, then improve, continued to develop it. And then there's 2015, co-authored something with Joel Comm and others with the JVZoo.com platform, right? Rockstars at JVZoo.com. And then, but that wasn't the first co-authored book that I did, or was it? Well, it may have been, but I did a couple others that were like inspirational stories, and got to contribute to one of those, a collaborative short thing that I wrote with my dad that we put into one of those, and that book was called Goodness Abounds. So anyway, I brought up this thing about the energy, right? Now, in high vibrational connecting, in the 10 by 10 matrix, meaning like an outline of the material, like syllabus, right? So in that, you got the first step, connect with yourself, right? Like connect with the divine within, connect with God, which is also yourself, right? Neville Goddard says that that God is your perfect human imagination. So your imagination is a communication thing, right? Like, so If you, rather than using the beta mind state and problem solving, right, and thinking about things, if you instead of that, you become playful and explore things intuitively, right, and you play instead of thinking about it, right, then you can access higher knowledge, right, like the superconscious mind. And the minds are connected. Our subconscious or superconscious minds are connected with each other, right? And so it's like mind reading. So that's what happens if you're playful. So that's another cool thing for the sacred play and playful creation and pure creation and the joys of creating. A cool thing is that when you're playful, it unlocks more creativity. Okay, so we've got this thing about this energy, right? And why did I even bring that up? I don't know. Okay, but there was a reason, and then I was telling you the story a bit, and I brought it up and connected the ideas, and then I forgot why I was telling you about the energetic connecting, right? But it is basically that is like communicating with others with an awareness of your energy. It's an energy level. Now the karma clearing goes to a deeper level, one level down, even deeper than energy. Because what are these levels, right? Conscious mind, subconscious mind, right? Like beliefs and like subconscious beliefs that you may not even know that are running your life, right? And energy is the next level down. It's where people are going, oh, everything is energy, right? And it's true. And energy, emotions are energy in motion. And if you have stuck energy in your body, like stuck emotions that you weren't able to process it and it's still in your body, like trauma, then you want to heal that and like get it moving again, right? So there's the energy level, which would then include feng shui, tai chi, body talk, somatic things, and massage, yoga, and movement, dance, and all kinds of things. So this is getting your energy moving. And then the next level down is karma. So in Compassion Key, we clear our own karma by giving ourselves compassion in a specific way. And I facilitate that. And it works better when you're having someone facilitate it for you than when you're just doing it for yourself only. And you also learn the process by you doing it. Like I'm not teaching you the process, but you're learning it by experience, right? Through doing it. So there is that too, because you end up with that benefit because you're not only clearing your own karma, you're also getting better at giving yourself compassion, which you can use all the time, whenever you want to. Okay, so clearing karma, then the results will then bubble up to all the other levels because it's deeper. Like it's not the fourth level down for nothing. It's literally an even deeper level, right? Like a root cause. That's what it means because karma is cause and effect. Right? So you can now cause more abundance. You can cause more miracles. You can also remove the causes of suffering. So if you can remove the reasons for why you suffer and you can increase reasons for you to have joy, then what do you think will happen? Right? That's what's going to happen. So it's pretty awesome. Okay. So now that helps you have higher energy, right? Better energy, right? More in alignment energy than you currently have. And so that will help you communicate better and connect with others better, like I do, right? And why I'm able to do the touring that I do, which I'm very grateful for this opportunity. So the tour begins in Vernon, and I look forward to, if she wants to have the exposure, right? I could interview her, for example, or we can share her gifts, right? So I look forward to introducing you to the person that I'm going to be staying with for about 2 weeks. It may be 2 weeks to 4 weeks. This is the beginning of this is the very beginning of the tour. And also, I would say that I'll stay with people that I resonate with, right? For about a week to 2 weeks, right? On average, as this tour begins, right? And as it continues and proliferates all over the world. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you as well. And thank you for watching, right? To the stars, to your own inner light, right? Remember. Because you can remember who you are. Just remember who you are and do what you want. And that's going to make your life better, like it has for me. Because I've done this, and it's actually from my lived experience, not from theory. Thanks. See you next time.